dawn in the desert, a clear and chilly November morning. We are near the city of Buckeye, Arizona, where a caravan of cars is arriving, carrying volunteers. For the next several hours, they will comb this unforgiving landscape, looking for a young man who's been missing since June of 2021. His name, Daniel Robinson. And leading the search, not law enforcement, but Daniel's father, David.
Where is everybody located?
For 9 painful months, Robinson and his team of volunteers, people he now calls family,
This is my family.
have been desperately trying to find any trace of his son.
He's a very bright, intelligent geologist. Anything that Daniel wanted to do, he would do it. He's born without a right hand, but he found ways to master anything that he wanted to do. You know, he's a geologist. Of course, Arizona is the ideal place.
In June 2021, Daniel had just begun a job doing field work at a desert well site. He'd always kept in close touch with his family back home in South Carolina. But around this time, Daniel suddenly stopped calling.
I tried to call his phone constantly. He wasn't answering.
In fact, the whole family tried calling Daniel. Nothing. His sister in Arizona checked his apartment. No one there.
I was worried. I didn't want to panic because I didn't want my children to panic, so that's when I decided to call the Buckeye Police Department.
The Buckeye PD is a small one with barely more than 100 officers. Nevertheless, they began investigating by first checking the area where Daniel was reportedly working. Nothing turned up. 2 days later, David Robinson, desperate for answers, felt he had to take matters into his own hands.
I just grabbed everything I had, threw it in my vehicle, and just started driving. And I made it here. I came straight through. Left South Carolina, came straight to Arizona.
Some 45 hours later, David arrived in this daunting desert, exhausted, but in a panic. His son was out here somewhere, all alone, facing 3-digit heat, rattlesnakes, and not a soul or building in sight. So on his own, David started searching and soon made his way to the well site where his son was last seen.
This is where it all began. This is where the whole narrative started. My son drove off into the desert and vanished, maybe from here.
David then met with a witness, a co-worker of his son's who said he saw Daniel at the well the day he disappeared.
He did tell me that my son seemed like he was looking out into space somewhere, looking out into the desert terrain, kind of staring off, and was acting really quiet. And then he told me my son just kind of waved off to him, got in his vehicle, and drove off.
Where he went and what exactly happened next, no one seems to know. Soon after that meeting, David began recruiting volunteers to help him search the sprawling Sonoran Desert. Every Saturday for the next few weeks, they scoured this barren, treacherous landscape. They have not found Daniel. Then in July 2021, a break, a big one. A local rancher found Daniel's Jeep rolled over in a remote ravine.
When I first saw that crash site, I was really devastated. This place I had to go to and see for myself.
The airbags had deployed. The sunroof looked as if it had been kicked open, perhaps used as an escape route. And this was odd. Outside the Jeep were what appeared to be Daniel's clothes and work boots, his wallet still in his blue jeans. Inside the vehicle was his college ID, laptop, keys, cell phone, and plenty of bottled water. To help make sense of this mystery, David hired private investigator Jeff McGrath, an expert at reconstructing accidents. He has a theory of what might have happened.
There was nothing along this route that the vehicle took into that bottom ravine that matched the damage. It's telling me the vehicle was probably crashed somewhere else. Either moved here or it was continued to be driven, and this was its final stop. And whether somebody stole it in joyriding, whether Daniel was in it, but it tells me something happened somewhere else.
The Jeep has since been moved to a secured location for further analysis, but plenty of evidence still remains of the crash.
I don't believe it was enough to kill, no. The airbags had enough force to do some damage. They strike you in the face, and they come out with a lot of force, and it could cause a concussion. But there wasn't enough violence here in this crash to cause a lethal.
That suggests Daniel survived and was perhaps disoriented and maybe wandered aimlessly into the desert. Could this be other than accidental? Could foul play be involved in Daniel's disappearance? It's something McGrath and David have not ruled out. It's something police have examined too. To this point, there is no evidence of that. None at all. Whatever happened back in June of 2021 has David Robinson now bracing for the worst.
It's hard to say you're searching for your son, walking around the desert with no clothing, no shoes. So I had to mentally put it in my head that I'm doing a recovery. So I need to go find every spot I can out here to rescue my son. He may be hurt, injured, somewhere stuck, whatever. I need to find my son. Yeah, I found something up here interesting.
David is hoping to get more attention, help, and resources from the Buckeye PD, which says this is still an ongoing investigation, although so far not a criminal one.
Okay, so we're still working this side.
He's also tried to enlist federal help. In the fall of 2021, the Buckeye PD briefed the FBI and asked for their assistance. The Bureau recently told us they're still assessing the case. So far, they have not gotten involved. So for now, David Robinson and his team of volunteers continue to search.
I really have faith that somehow God can bless that he's alive somewhere, and I hope so. I am not stopping. He's my son. He's my responsibility. He's a fighter. He never give up on that thing. I definitely won't give up on him.
My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at College of Charleston.
Good job.
I'm David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And you all know that I'm still searching for him. Hello, everybody. This is David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. I'm coming to you today to ask for your help, to continue your help that you have been giving since I arrived here on June the 26th of last year, 2021. You all have been just been extraordinarily gracious to me and my family, coming out to the searches, donating to the GoFundMe, and also just help flying out, passing out information, word of mouth through the flyer distribution and things like that. So I'm really grateful. We're coming to make a quick video here, asking you guys to, like I said, to continue support. I decided to put a pause on the searches out there in the desert. My son, geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, he was out there on June the 23rd, where he went missing out there in that desert out there in Buckeye, Arizona. Since then, like I said, I've been searching for my son. I have conducted over 30 some weeks of searches with the aid of volunteers. We have found human remains out there on the ground, hopefully to bring some closure to some families that's out there. But this fight is continuing going. Like I said, I had to make a hard decision the other day to cut the searches down to a pause for right now until I get some things reorganized and also some better ways that we could search. Again, this is not a stop. I am not stopping my efforts to find my son. I still had to go out in that desert to fight for him. You can imagine it's a difficult choice that I had to make. But I had to make that choice. The choice is to, like I said, to get this searches up and running the proper way. As you know, some may know that I had to come down from being out there weekly and also sometimes during the week to cutting the searches down to once every other week. And then now I have to do a pause. And all of that came from lack of funding. I had to, kind of build up the funding again. I have a lot of work to do. That my son's vehicle was found out there in that desert out there in the ravine, not about 3 miles away from where he was last seen at a well site. In that ravine, is his vehicle, right? Just this picture right here is the picture of his vehicle. And outside of that vehicle, about 3 feet away from the vehicle, was everything my son was wearing, from his underwear, socks, everything he's wearing on his body, his clothes, everything in a pile. About 3 feet away from the vehicle, his safety vest, you can see it here. On the side here, right there, safety vest on the ground, and that was another foot away from the pile of clothing. So, all that stuff had to have forensics work done to it. This photo here that I have behind me, the photo itself came from the Buckeye Police Department, who was in charge of my son's case. They didn't do any forensics work at the scene. Those are the things that I had to have done. I had to have forensics work done on the, like I said, safety vest here. Also the clothing up there in that pile, and also the vehicle itself. As you know, the vehicle had red transfer paint on the passenger side. That had to be tested. You also know that his wallet was found in his pants pocket in that pile. That had to be tested. Again, the whole pile of clothing, the safety vest had to be forensically tested. Also, when it comes to the vehicle itself, we already had an accident reconstructionist that I hired. He gave us all the information that we needed about the vehicle itself, the damage that didn't make. He's accident reconstruction. The damage on the vehicle didn't match the terrain. Like I said, the red transfer paint didn't come from that terrain. So that suggests the vehicle was crashed somewhere else. There was 11 additional miles on the vehicle after the first crash. It suggests they have multiple crashes. And also, like I said, it was driven 11 additional miles, and it was over 46 initial cycles after the vehicle was wrecked. All the airbags are deployed. So, of course, inside the vehicle, I had to get airbags tested for DNA. I did request the Buckeye Police Department to do fingerprinting on that vehicle. They, under my request, did it a day later, did some fingerprinting, but I haven't gotten the results of that. So I had to get the fingerprinting done. I had to get the forensics, like I said, on the airbags to swabbing the entire vehicle, getting the fibers and everything I can, information to find out if my son was the only person in that vehicle and who else. So those things like that. So in a long story short is that because of that, all the work that I had to do on this vehicle forensically, I had to cut the searches down to a pause. You guys know I do have a foundation that's coming up, the Daniel Robinson Foundation, and that will be coming really soon here. And as you guys please, the same people you supported right here for the searches and to the, like I said, I hear the searches, to the flyer distributions, to everything you have done so far. Just continue to help. Like I say, I'm getting this foundation off the ground. I would need your help. You can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and you can fill out the other ways you can help on the top, up there at the top. And you can put your skill sets in, and then the team, we will put all that together. And maybe you can help out there with the foundation. You can help with the future search for my son that's coming up pretty soon back out in that desert again. And also be able to help other families. So the goal is the foundation is to help other families along with helping find my son. So you continue to give my family prayers and the love support. I have the banner on the bottom of the screen here with the anonymous tip line. If you guys have any tips, anything, please utilize that tip line. It's 844-602-0660. You can call it 24 hours, 7 days a week. I pay for that service. You call it 24 hours, 7 days a week. Live operators will take your call. You can stay anonymous or non-anonymous. You also, if you don't want to talk to anybody, you can text the word tip. Just like on the bottom screen there, text the word tip to that number, and you can stay anonymous if you want to stay anonymous. If you want to contact me direct for any calls, you want to contact me direct, maybe you want to give a comment, maybe you want to share something, or even if you have a tip, so I cannot provide you being anonymous through this number you see scroll on the bottom, unless you have a burner phone or something. But I would not be able to provide the anonymous tip line for you on that number. But you can leave one there. I'm just trying. My goal is to bring my son home. If you want to tell me directly, yes, please do so by all means. And all else fails, you guys can always go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. That's pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. All the information that you need is right here on this website. And you can, find out other ways you can help, to donating, to sign a petition. You guys definitely, if you sign that petition, that really work. Again, special operations desert searches are temporarily paused until further notice. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. For everybody who came out, even if you came out one day, I really appreciate you coming out to help out there in that desert. Some of you guys been out there last summer, in the summertime when the weather was very hot. And you stayed out there with me always at 4 o'clock in the evening. We started at 5:45 in the morning, and we stayed out there all day. You guys, like I say, are champions. I love you. I've come to call you my extended family, and I still mean that. I really appreciate you guys, all your effort and help, and the ones that still continue to help. So thank you so much. You can, like I said, you can volunteer in other ways, and then temporarily, you can pass out these flyers. I have a PDF tab on there. You want to make the flyers yourself. If you can, please make them the size of a postcard. But if not, just go ahead and make those flyers, and you can put them out there. I really appreciate it. Because right now, you guys have been signing a petition. Right now, I checked this morning, it's 114,113 and counting. Those, again, I say those numbers are people. They are not just numbers or some signature. That is you. That is you. When you sign that petition, you have a voice in this case. This case have grown from trying to put pressure on the Buckeye Police Department to do more, to trying to bring some changes in the way that policing approach missing persons. Again, my thought of that, the first 24 hours or 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours is most crucial. And also that, they need to start looking at all missing person cases, start thinking the worst first, and then work your way backwards to prove that this person left. Like they said on my son, on the first day my son went missing, their first initial thought is he's a grown man. They stopped the flight. Think about this. They stopped the helicopter flight to go search for my son out there in the desert after they believed that he had some kind of issue mentally. They stopped the searches because they say he's a grown man. And if he want to disappear, he can if he want to. Nobody did tell him that. They'd assume that, and that's the way police shouldn't work. There shouldn't be no assumptions there. They need to be blindfolded like the law says it should be, and they should always just take the advice of the family member, not the coworkers, the family members who says, hey, you need to go out there search for my loved one. They're not here to speak for themselves. When a person take themselves out of, they're grown, but when they take themselves out of a situation and just go disappear, they take themselves out of adulthood in a sense, and they should be turned over to the family's decision about them because they're not speaking for themselves. So they have never let anybody know what they're doing and things like that. But in my son's case, yes, he would have told his family when he traveled. So thank you guys for coming out and your support. I'm always grateful when you guys support. You have been such a great help since I've been here in Arizona. Since people who is not here in Arizona, definitely been a great help. Also with the YouTube, please help find Daniel. Please help find Daniel YouTube channel, the Twitter page. Please help find number 4. Please help find the number 4. You can support there. You can go to TikTok. Please help find Daniel, and also the Facebook page. Please help find Daniel. You guys can share, like, and subscribe to those channels and those social media pages, and that would help me get my son's story out there, because that's the only thing I'm really pushing really hard is to get the story out there to the public, because there may be somebody out there somewhere who may have seen something, heard something, they can actually say something. And just really grateful for your help. Also, I will this weekend I will be speaking at the Crime Con event in Las Vegas, and if you guys can be aware of that, you guys want to tune in to the Crime Con, go to crimecon.com. You can go under the speaker tab and you can see my photo there with the information there, the bio, where you can read that. And also, if you want to participate, you also can come out to Vegas to participate, be a part of that event. But I want to again say thank you all for being here and everything you have done, and watching, just supporting it everywhere you can. You're supporting here on the website to, the YouTube channels. Like I said, the Q&As I do in the mornings every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Really grateful. But I can tell you again, I am not stopping from searching for my son. You guys, I'm only stopping the organized searches, just putting that on pause for right now. And that's just on pause. As in me searching for my son, I'm going to continually be out there searching for my son, whether I'm out there in the desert or whether I'm out here in the city, doing what I do, passing out the word, make sure I'm out there doing everything I can to find my son. So the search for Daniel is not over. Again, I'm only putting a pause on the on the desert searches out there for right now. When I come back with those searches, we have some different things going on where you guys, we can utilize the search a lot better. We'll be more productive and things like that. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this broadcast. I really appreciate it. God bless you all. And I hope I see you on the next Q&A. God bless you. Love you. Have yourself a great day. Take care.